Hey everybody, it's John, your Indian Cine-MANIAC with another 10ish-minute review. Okay, so this keeps in line with some of the movies I've been watching lately. This, of course, is from the viewer. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say something before I begin. I'm filming this on Mother's Day. It won't be posting on Mother's Day, but today is Mother's Day. So I just wanted to wish all the mothers out there a very happy Mother's Day. Now, I want to apologize up front because I'm sure your mother is great, but I happen to have the greatest mother of all time. Okay? Let me just pop up a picture of her, how wonderful she is. I mean, look at her, right? She's amazing. 85 years old. She's like the Energizer Bunny. Love you, Ma. Anyway, I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day. I hope your mother had a great Mother's Day. And if you are a mother, not mother effer, mother. Happy Mother's Day. Okay, so back to the viewer choice poll. This episode is Udaan from 2010, and the last the last few movies have been tough watches. Not bad movies, just really difficult to watch films. Ramen Raghav 2.0, that was a tough one. I hope that some of the lists that you guys gave me have some lighter films in them because this was a tough one to watch. It was directed by Vikramaditya Motwane, who also wrote it. It stars Rajat, Barmecha, Ronit Roy, Ram Kapoor, and Aayan Boradia. Now, I know you will correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. I don't think I've seen any of these actors in something else. At least not that I can remember. But I mean, this was a pretty interesting film. It was shot in 42 days, and it was shot in two locations, which are the locations of the director, where the director actually lived. Shedpur and Shmila. I'm sorry, Shimla. Shimla. Jamshedpur and Shimla. And this was also apparently Ronit Roy's comeback, who played the father in this, and he was tough. He played Barav. Okay, so the story. Boy, it's really bright in here. The story. It's about a young boy, Rohan, who at the beginning of the film gets kicked out of a private school. That's the opening scene. Him and some buddies leave the school, go to a movie theater, get caught by not the superintendent, but somebody high up who is with a woman, by the way. And they all get kicked out. And originally, as the movie was playing, I'm going, okay, this is going to be a film about schoolmates, getting together, because it was kind of a cute scene. So now he gets kicked out and has to go back home. Now you find out he hasn't seen his father in 8 years. You don't know why, but he is not happy to go home. That is obvious. And then when you actually meet the father, you understand why he doesn't want to go home. So he goes back to his hometown, lives with his father, who is just an absolute abuser. And then he finds out that while he was away, he remarried. They had a kid, Arjun, and the wife left. I wonder why she left. So he's got a little kid. I think the kid was 8 years old, staying in his room. And that first scene where they meet, Rohan is like, "Get out of my bed. I'll smack you around," sounding a little like the father. So the movie really is about this 16-year-old that it starts at 16, coming back home and becoming, I don't want to say a man, but going through this adversity and persevering in the end. And that's really what the story is. Not more than that. It's his journey. He wants to be a writer. His father doesn't want him to be a writer. He wants him to work in this steel plant, I guess it was. That's the story. So I'm going to give the story a 3. Because I mean, you've seen this story a million times in different kind of films. You haven't seen it quite like this, that's for sure. But it's not like a brand new, new story. Wow, like you like I've never seen this before because you've seen this a lot in film. Um, so a three. The performances, the kid who played Rohan was really good. Rajat Barmecha or Mecha. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I don't know if this was his first film. I think it was his first film, and he was excellent in this because the what he goes through from the beginning to the end, he and his growing frustration of the futility of his life and the realization that his father, he gets that his father's an abuser, but now he sees that he's banging around the kid, the little kid, who ends up in the hospital because the father whips him because he did something. So he gets real protective of Arjun. And there's also the Ronit plays the father, Barav, but there's also Jimmy, his brother, who lives in the same like community, who sees what's happening here and tries to kind of protect the two kids, but he realizes the futility of that too, to the point that uh, uh, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Barav starts going after the brother. So um, and I really liked Jimmy in this. I thought the brother was good. Now, Ronit as the father, and the little kid was adorable. And I think he's only got like two credits, so I don't think he's done a lot. But he was excellent in this. He was adorable, and the scenes where he couldn't tell Rohan what really happened, the way it played on his face. The father, I did have a problem with the father because now, whether it's the script, whether it's the directorial choice, the father was just it was so one note. The guy was just bad. No redeeming qualities whatsoever. There was one scene that maybe you could have said, okay. He gave Rohan a watch that his father had given him and says, you pass this down on your 18th birthday. And and it was like, okay, maybe things are starting to turn around, but they didn't turn around. And the fear that Rohan had was that he was going to become his father, and he didn't want that. In fact, there was a scene where the father lies about why Arjun was in the hospital. He says he fell down the stairs. Well, Rohan figures out that he beat him, so he apologizes. But the way he shot it, as he's apologizing, he's completely in the shadow. And there's another scene where he finds out Rohan smokes. So he has him smoke right in front of him. But the whole time he's shot in shadow, like real, like evil. So that, his performance, there was no, I don't know how to explain this. There was only one side to it, like twirling black mustache. Except now, again, I don't even know if it's true or not, but he got remarried, and the woman he married had a daughter, and he seemed to be a little different with them. But as this movie ended, I'm like, well, Rohan, because Rohan ends up in the end leaving and taking Arjun with him, because he knows if he leaves him with the father's going to end up killing him. But I was also thinking to myself, he's leaving this father with this young girl, the daughter. Aren't you worried about her? And maybe he felt like, because there's a letter he leaves and he says, I hope you find happiness with your new family. That was like the only grain of some, but that I didn't, I've heard about abusive people that sometimes they can be real charming, and they can be, when it happens, they're so apologetic and beside themselves. This guy never did that. And so I thought he was okay. I mean, for the role, you hated him, and you could see right from the get-go that this guy was awful. But from a performance perspective, I don't know. It was okay. The young kid Rohan was really good, excellent in this film. I got to give it a three because as good as he was, I don't think everyone else was as good. So there. As far as the music was I really I liked the music. In fact, I think I wrote some notes about the music. But I will tell you that they used for and I don't know if this was an Indian film or a Tamil film, but it was is a very quiet film, the sound. Um like and the locations were very real. There was nothing stylized. It just seemed like, you were put in a real place. Um and there was some atmospheric music, but there was one thing. So the father at the beginning goes jogging every morning because he's very physically fit and he wants to get Rohan jogging with him. So that becomes this contest, a clash of wills between the two. But Rohan's a little out of shape. So the father wins every time, and he says, "Disgraceful, disgraceful." And then the little kid, Arjun, Rohan's on the ground catching his breath. The little kid walks up, "Disgraceful," and then walks away. And there's this weird music playing that just amped up the clash between the two. Now, obviously, the payoff, and I knew this was going to happen once I saw the first jogging scene. The last scene where Rohan leaves the house because him and the father goes after him and burns his book of stories, like just, and that was the final straw. Well, Rohan, who's now 18, smacks the father in the face. In fact, in reality, he broke Ronit's nose, and they had to delay filming. But then he runs, and the father's chasing after him because he wants to beat him. Well, he's 18 years old now, and he runs away from his father, and the father can't catch him. In fact, at one point, the father stops, turns around. Rohan stops and looks back at him, and there's a smile on his face like, "I did this." So I like the music, but again, I'll give the music a 3. It was the whole sound of this movie was very quiet, which I liked. I liked it. What else? So look, this is you guys have figured out my taste for the most part. I mean, but some of these movies are tough. This is not my kind of film. I mean, this is one of those relentlessly depressing films, and I hate to keep using that phrase, but that's how I felt. Now, does that mean I didn't like the movie? Did I not enjoy? And enjoy isn't the right word. I enjoyed this movie. I liked what it said, and for me, obviously, the ending of this movie is the payoff. And you did feel something when he comes back because he leaves alone and leaves the boy, Arjun. But then he starts thinking about it and says, "I cannot leave this kid." He goes back and gets the kid and takes off. So he becomes the father to this boy. So that was wonderful, and that's the payoff of this film, and that's why, for me, it kind of, I don't want to say it saved the film. That's not right, but it changed my opinion of the film from, wow, what a bummer movie this was, to, okay, I get it. And it was wonderful. And you get that feeling, you get that chill when you see the scene. So the music, I don't think I scored. Did I score it? I think I said a 3. But overall, I would say, since everything seems to be a 3, I'm going to give it a 3. A lot of people wanted me to watch this, and uh, I see why. Because again, I think that payoff at the end is what makes this movie so good. But it was a tough watch. I mean, it reminded me of the first hour of like Stars on Earth, where it's just relentless. That first hour of that film is relentless for the little kid. It was like that with this guy. You feel so bad for Rohan, who's just trying to do the right things. I mean, there were some lighter scenes in it when he hooks up with his friends, and they were kind of his salvation, to get away from the father. But he had to do so much lying, and he was stealing from the father. It was just, you just felt so bad for the guy. So yeah, that's what I think about the film. So I appreciate those of you that suggested it, and I hope I did justice to it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. As always, I appreciate the feedback. Thanks for the feedback on the song episode I did. After I watched Udaan, I watched my musical episode so I could get that upbeat feeling again, because, oh, these are tough. Okay. Let me know what you think. The next film I'm going to review is M.S. Donnie, The Untold Story. And the reason I'm doing that, obviously, is because the men's T20 World Cup is going to be coming up, and India is playing Ireland on June 5th. So I'm going to be watching that. So I figured, what the heck? I might as well do a cricket movie about a real person. So that's the next one. So thanks for watching, everybody, as always. And remember, I hope you had a great Mother's Day. It would have been a few days ago, but I hope it was wonderful for you if you are a mother or for your mother. Again, Mom, happy Mother's Day. That's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. And we will talk to you soon with, yes, another 10ish minute review. Thanks for watching, everybody.